colleagues from Kenya. I actually thought I would say sorry for their citizens who were recently abducted. Maybe when I go to Kenya, I'll ask them to do the same, because my leader, Dr. Besigye, was kidnapped from their country. But I'll do that when I go to Kenya. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Ssemuju, whom are you addressing? Because our rules here, you only address the members and the speaker here.
So, Mr. Speaker, my eyes were focusing on the visitor, but I am addressing you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, now let me focus both my submission and eyes on you. And I hope, Mr. Speaker, that the government ministers who are here, 4 junior ministers and the Attorney General, will be able to answer these questions. And we don't speak like we're on a radio, television talk show. These are very serious matters to do with the elections. The CDF, General Muhoozi, who also happens to be a son of the president. We are lucky we are the only country with the president and his son managing the defense. Mr. Speaker, maybe you need to restrain the ever-silent military officers from making noise that is not provided for in our rules. But the point, Mr. Speaker, the CDF has said, after voting, don't hang around polling stations. The law on election is very clear. You can have agents representing you, but the voters can stay in a distance that is prescribed by the law. While that can be answered by the Attorney General, we need to get government to tell us whether the military, like it did in 1980, December, has now taken over the organization, management, and supervision of elections. Because recently I was on a radio station and there were adverts run by the military telling people, go away after elections. We now have the military and the CDF in particular speaking more about election than the chairman of the Electoral Commission. The Attorney General, Mr. Speaker, if you allow, can he address himself to the law clearly and unequivocal, whether voters are not allowed to stay at a polling station like it is prescribed in the law? And then I don't know who will volunteer to tell us whether General Muhoozi, the CDF and the military have now taken over elections. Leave alone the violence, beating people, military hanging all over. And so can those two issues be answered, Mr. Speaker?
We appeal to citizens to cast their votes peacefully and go home, not to hang around the polling stations. The vote counting and tallying process will be transparent and is done in the open. Each individual candidate's agents will be present, and these include the presidential, the directly elected MPs, and women MPs. That is on the 15th of January, 1 month from now, 1 month from today. Local and international election observers will also be present, and so will the media. So there is no need for people to hang around saying they are protecting votes. The process is transparent, and all these measures are in place to make sure that that transparency is clear for all to see. There will be enough scrutiny to ensure that the election process is transparent, free and fair, and above all, credible. Those who try to cause trouble, as I've heard some people proclaim, will be dealt with swiftly and with all the tools at our disposal and in accordance with the law.
Yes, I'm going to allow you. But you see, when you stand up, you hold the microphone. You first give a position, then after you change it to order, then when you're seated, you attract my attention very well. So, Honorable Ssemuju.
Mr. Speaker, I know the Honorable Chiwanu Kachilio is a very intelligent person. The question I asked was very specific. The CDF said, go home. He didn't say, stay within the distance that is prescribed in the law. He says, go home. That's the question I asked.
Attorney General.
Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, I'm advising you as the Attorney General. I'm not advising you as to what anyone said outside this house. I am telling you, you cannot stay at the polling station after voting. You stay a distance allowed as per the law.
Thank you. Maybe he meant those whose homes are 20 meters away.
To wish the Cardinal, His Eminence Emmanuel Cardinal Mara, for attaining 99 years. And I think that birthday is commendable for us, the Catholic Church, and everybody in Uganda. But through you, Mr. Speaker, to the Attorney General, yes, what you are saying is correct. He is a land friend, is the head of the bar, and the practices through our laws are well known by the Attorney General. When you are summoning members of Parliament, the summons go through the office of the Speaker. And indeed, even the priest in Masaka, Father Sekabira, he has the Vicar General and the Bishop of Masaka Diocese. What I'm seeking from the Attorney General is going back to the grand norms of the country, that there are procedures of arresting somebody. This is a priest who is running a parish and is known where his place of work is known. But business of arresting and holding him incommunicado is not proper. Mr. Speaker, Masaka history is not good about priests. We had a father called Father Clement Chiguondo. He disappeared like that. And the letter written by our bishop, he indicated the same. That was 1972. But here we are. We are having over 2 weeks, and UPDF comes out directly to say that we have the priest. But they have not produced him before court. That is not fair on the side of our Catholic side. And it's not fair even on your side of government. Because I can assure you, we are going to win votes against you because of that priest. I can assure you that. Because everybody is not happy. So, Mr. Attorney General, as Article 119, that's your duty now. How would you advise government on the message they are making on carrying out arrests of that nature? Because somebody does not run away. He's around, summon him, let him appear before court, then you can detain. But up to now, the priest is not yet produced before courts of law. And you are having two positions here. You are the Attorney General and you are sitting in as the lead of government business. But you are not giving us a direct answer about our priest. People want to get sacraments from him. I need to get sacraments. We are going for Christmas. And I don't know, she's a Catholic, the Kano here. She knows what is happening now. We are in a period of Adventure. And our speaker is also aware of that. Can you kindly do the needful? Let the priest be put before courts of law. If it's to be bailed, it will be done. If it's to be kept on remand, so that it is known. That will solve challenges and a lot of words being said in the Masaka Diocese. That's what I wanted to say, Mr. Attorney General. Otherwise, the leader of us has said the same matter.
Thank you. Thank you.
Contradiction that after voting, even you, the members of Parliament, you must not stay at the polling station. Yeah, when you're 20 meters away, that's not the polling station. So when we are telling you, and you must encourage everyone not to stay at the polling station after voting. If you want, when you finish voting, You leave the polling station, 20 meters an hour, 100 meters, that's perfectly fine, but not at the polling station. And lastly, Right Honorable Speaker, no, the military has not taken over the management of the election in Uganda. Election is managed by the Electoral Commission.
Now,
thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, you have reported on Electoral Commission coming here on 18th December 2025 at 10 a.m. I don't think I need to belabor that point. All the questions that Lope has raised, I'm sure we shall be able to raise them to the Electoral Commission and they'll answer them, whether it's mandatory, what happens if it doesn't work. Those we can do on Thursday when the Electoral Commission is here. We'll be happy to join and participate in that. On the violation of the laws and the manner of arrest, Leader of Opposition, you're correct. It should be done properly in accordance with the law. And if it is not, if they are arrested, they should be put in lawful custody and presented in court. And if that is not done, it is definitely unlawful. So if the facts as you state them here are what they are, then it's unlawful and there will be sanction on that. But we shall have to look at that. On the issue of the agreement with the US government, Right Honorable Speaker, I just have a challenge. No. I just have a challenge. If the requirement is for us to bring every agreement that government is going to sign for Parliament, then we should write the law and say so. But otherwise, government reports to Parliament in the manner that is set in the law. Every committee interacts with the government agency, and when that time comes when we are called upon to report on health, we shall report on it. But what I can assure you, Right Honorable Speaker, is that, and honorable colleagues, is yes, government did sign an agreement, and yes, the agreement is in place, and it is within the law, and I'm sure when the sectoral committee looks at it, I hope they will have the magnanimity to come here and tell the country that we did a good job. I thank you.
Speaker, Procedure. That does not take away the fact that KK is a very good lawyer. It does not take away that fact.
Sorry, Honorable Asman, Honorable Margaret, please, you don't access the microphone without permission of the speaker. Thank you. Continue, Honorable.
So, Reverend Speaker, I think given the gravity of this matter, the sensitivity, and you know, when it involves religious leaders, and I'm not saying religious leaders are above the law, but I belong to the Muslim faith where we have, confronted these challenges where our sheikhs, our imams have been taken in similar circumstances. I think it raises more concerns. So for the sake of the rule of law, it would really be important that, because Right Honourable Speaker, my mother is also one chairperson of her village, and she has been chairperson for very many years. Before, when these arrests are being made, they would come and notify her long ago. These days it doesn't happen. So if we really went back to that system where local authorities are even informed of such arrests, it will really create harmony and peace. But what is happening will create a lot of tension in the community. So I think, that's a matter that you need to streamline. Finally, Right Honourable Speaker, you have talked about the function. As chairperson of the Parliamentary Sports Club, I want to add my voice to yours to invite all members of Parliament who are here to be part of the closing ceremony, the award-giving ceremony of these games, and I agree with you. This session should be fast enough because we invited our guests at 3 p.m., and I'm very sure a good number of them are there. And given that Uganda are overall champions, it will be important that we all come and participate. And the Right Honourable Speaker here also did very well in golf, and we are going to give him a medal at that function. That Attorney General didn't play golf, and I had expected him to play, but I think next year he will be there. So, Right Honourable Speaker, I invite colleagues to be part of the function, and also our guests, they are really invited to be part of the closing ceremony of the games. Karibuni sana wandugu.
This house here is clothed with the responsibility of making laws. And it's important that when there is a violation of those laws, this House speaks particular interest. Honorable Speaker, on the 3rd of December, this very year, Reverend Father Deus Dedit Sekabira, a priest of Masaka Diocese, was abducted by armed men using an ordinary vehicle. For days, everybody was asking, where is this person? We kept asking police, saying, you are the people who are clothed with the responsibility of arresting. Where is this Reverend Father? Police issued a statement saying, we don't know about his arrest, we don't have him. That got more concerning. Days later, the UPDF released a statement, and I want to lay a copy of it here. It was written by one Chris Magezi, saying Reverend Father Deus Dedit Sekabira was arrested by security forces for involvement in subversive activities, and he is, according to Magezi, in lawful custody. The concern is twofold. Because you see, lawful custody presupposes, one, that somebody is held in a gazetted detention facility. A facility that can be accessed by lawyers, loved ones, doctors, where the need arises, to be able to access this person. As we speak today, right now, Speaker, it's 2 weeks since this man was abducted. The army has conceded finally that they have him. But holding him where? Why has he not been produced in court? Because the law, which was passed in this House, talks about 48 hours for which you can hold somebody in a gazetted facility. After 48 hours, you have two options. Release him or her, or produce him in court. Why has he not been produced in court? That's a big worry, right, Honorable Speaker. It's not enough to say we have him, and then you say lawful custody. How is it lawful? When his loved ones, lawyers, they can't access him, they don't know where he is. Honorable Speaker, we had a similar incident not long ago. 2 Kenyan citizens were abducted in similar manner in this country. It's good we have Kenyan legislators, Bob Njagi and Nicholas Ayo. And for days on end, everybody was wondering, where are these people, where are these people? After a while, the head of state said, yes, we had those people, we had put them in a fridge, whatever that means, now we have released them. The worry is, we are going against the laws that we pass. If, and by the way, none of us is above the law. If it is suspected that I have committed an offense, regardless who I am, whether I'm a priest, whether I'm a political leader, the law says, produce me in court. Maybe government needs to advise us. Why are they choosing to break the law? Why hasn't this Catholic priest, whom they are saying was involved in subversive activities, why don't you produce him in court? Adduce the evidence, let there be trial. It's very important that that gets to happen. Otherwise, then we have a huge challenge. Honorable Speaker, we celebrate Janani Luwum Day. It's now a public holiday. Janani Luwum was abducted by the Idi Amin regime. Disappeared for good. The last we checked, he was killed. And this government said, let's celebrate this man. The same thing is being seen to happen today. So we need answers, Honorable Speaker. Again, there's another citizen, one Sarah Nambogo, and her 13-year-old child, who were also abducted outside Kampala Club. A 13-year-old child. This is the minor. I heard from some corners that they were going to be released today. I don't know if that has happened. But the challenge is, this person was abducted on 12th December. It's been several days. Where are they being held? Why don't you arrest people properly if you think they've committed an offense and then produce them in a court of law? Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, again, this is important for us here. So on 10th of December, the Uganda government signed a health cooperation agreement with the US government. And this is meant to be to the tune of about $2.2 billion US. The US government is meant to shoulder the bulk of it, about $1.7 billion. It's to help numerous things, strengthen our health system, enhance disease surveillance, and so on and so forth. So it's supposed to be a good thing when you think about it. But here is the challenge. As Parliament, we don't know about this huge fiscal obligation on our country. There's been no parliamentary scrutiny. There are concerns about data protection, medical data, and so on. Our colleagues in Kenya went to court because there was a similar deal signed by the Kenyan government with the US government. So citizens went to court and they said, we are concerned about data protection. And court has halted that deal. Why is government not keeping us in the loop? If it is so good a deal as it is being portrayed to be, why? Why do you not want parliamentary scrutiny? We get to know what kind of agreement is this? What is therein? So that we are brought up to speed. Not long ago, I was here again, Right Honourable Speaker, and raising concerns about some arrangement that had been cracked between the Uganda government and the US government, that they were going to bring some convicts, not deporting them to their countries of origin, but bringing them to Uganda. I said, tell us about that. How did this get to happen? Why can't they be taken to their countries of origin? So, Honourable Speaker, it's important that there is transparency. If a deal is as good as this one is being portrayed to be, bring it here. We operate here on behalf of the people whom you're saying this deal is going to help. Let's scrutinize it. Let there be parliamentary scrutiny. Let us all know everything around it. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you.
I apologize. Right Honourable Speaker, I take great exception with my colleague here in Parliament. Even insinuating that I participate in any illegal activities. The parties were legal, and they were also invited, Right Honourable Speaker, just as they did not show up. But we thank you.
And that's Honourable Ssemuju.
I do acknowledge that there is a lot of business that government can transact on behalf of the citizenry. That's why there has to be a government anyway. But you see, the challenge is where there is a huge annual fiscal responsibility on the country. Budgets are passed here by us. Because when you say that of the $2.3 billion, the US government is going to shoulder a part of it, the rest of it is supposed to be by us. So you have gotten us into that agreement without us crossing every T and dotting every I. Where is this money going to be found? Because what that means is we have to look for the money. We, Uganda, either borrow as we normally do. Even today we are going to be here borrowing. Or to say, the taxman, collect this much and that kind of thing. That's why I think it's prudent that Parliament is not at the tail end, because we are always here planning together, budgeting together, because of that fiscal obligation on us as a country, and it begins here. So I disagree with the learned Attorney General, who is a very well-schooled lawyer, when he says, no, Parliament, you just wait. Let's deal with these things. We shall inform you later. So what happens when there is something we should have taken care of in as far as our scrutiny is concerned? That's the issue.
Now, colleagues, I think it is Act. So the moment then we go through that, we would know whether they were required to come here or not. But this is a very critical issue, I think, and both of you seem to be right. Both the leader of opposition, yes, and the Attorney General, and the Attorney General, because yeah, I don't see a point of disagreement for sure. What is important is the principle of scrutiny, okay? So now we are going to handle the BFP, Budget Framework Paper. So the committee, Sectoral Committee on Health, will be looking at these huge sums of money that would be required, and in the process, let it study this agreement very well. The Minister for Health is here, so she will be able to clarify more when it comes to the committee. But let us give it serious scrutiny to ensure that indeed it's good for this country. Honorable Ssemuju, sorry, I said Zungu, but I had allowed Honorable Ssemuju earlier on.